back to freehighschooleducation.com. Today we are going to do chapter 9.4 in Algebra 1, page 354. Problem solving, motion problems. With motion problems, we have one formula to deal with, and that's distance equal rate times time, or velocity times time, or speed times time. And we can derive other formulas from this. If we divide by t, we get rate equals to distance over time, and if we divide by the rate, we get time equals to distance divided by the rate. And when we solve these word problems, we are going to look at every moving object or person and assign a trip to that moving object or person. And usually we have two trips, so we are going to label them trip 1, and it has the following parameters: a distance for it, distance 1, a rate or speed, and a time specific for that trip. And the second trip will be distance 2, R2, and T2. And using this strategy, we are going to tie up these parameters and then solve the problem. So let's do example number 1 in the book. On page 354, two cyclists leave at the same time from the same point and travel in opposite directions. Here it helps to have a small diagram. So we have two cyclists leaving from the same point in opposite directions. So one is trip 1, so this may be D1, R1, T1, and we will assign D2, R2, T2. Or the other way around, doesn't matter. The rate of one cyclist is 7 kilometers less than the rate of the other cyclist. So let's say this is the slower guy. So this rate here is more than this by 7. So I can replace this by R1 plus 7. After 10 hours, the cyclists are 530 kilometers apart. So the time for both is 10. And I know now that their distances after 10 hours is 530. That's the sum. So the sum is 530. So all I have to do now is add D1 plus D2, and that gives me 530. But from this equation, I know that D1 is R1 times T1, and that's 10 R1. And I know from this equation that distance 2 is R2, and that's R2 here, times T2. And so that will be 10 into R1 plus 7. And these two distances add up to 530. And now I simply solve, and we get 10R1 plus 10R1 plus 70 equals to 530. And here we are solving for the rates of the cyclists. So we get the 70 to the other side, so 530 minus 70, and that's 460. So we have here 20 R1 equals to 460. Divide by 20, and we get 23. So R1 equals to 23. And we should check our units, and here it is kilometer per hour. The second one is 7 more. So R2 will be 23 plus 7, and that's 30 kilometers per hour. And this is how we are going to solve all the other problems. And with this, we come to the end of this session, and we hope to see you again.